Hey everyone, what's up? First video in a while, not going to apologize, I keep doing that, and I'm just going to make videos when I want to make videos. YouTube probably doesn't like it because consistency is probably key. You guys subscribe for content and haven't done any, but you know, I don't care. I do, I care. I care about you guys, and I care about myself, I think, but I clearly don't care enough about producing content consistently to create stuff. But we'll see, maybe that changes. Maybe a couple of years from now I'm producing content every single week and I look back at this video like, what an idiot. Also, why is he wearing a turtleneck? Absolutely no idea. There's a reason. It's cold. It's really cold in the UK right now. It's like 8 degrees outside. And yeah, it's like 6 p.m. and it's dark as hell, hence these lights. And so, yeah, I just want to stay warm, hence this. That's what it's on for. I'm not trying to be Steve Jobs anytime soon, it's just cozy. And I know people are going to rip me for it, but it is what it is. What did I want to talk to you about today? I want to talk about a few things. Some changes, there's always changes. Changes and adaptation is the job of a CEO, right? I think staying the course is important, but adapting every day to little micro changes and fluctuations in the market and the way your company's running is literally our job. I should probably stop describing them as changes, come up with a more interesting, better word. Developments, things that are going on, what has been going on, let me tell you about them, but also a bit of a moral of the story as well, and that's kind of where I want to start. Burnout. Burnout is something that people talk about, some people don't really understand, some people might have. I think I've had it, and I think I've had it for a really long time, and I don't know and I haven't realised that I've had it. I don't think I've had it to the extreme in a very short space of time. I think I've had it chronically for a long time, and as a result I haven't really noticed. Why do I think that? Well, I think it because there was a point before COVID where the business was doing well, we had great revenue and it was profitable, and it's easy to rest on your laurels at that point. And then COVID hit and a bunch of other things happened, and anyway, fast forward to now, that business is basically back to pretty much square one and zero revenue, so I'm trying to fix it again. I could close it, I thought about closing it, as you guys know from previous videos, and I'm changing it, and I've thought about selling it, and yeah, so we kept it, we're changing it, we're making it better, we're bringing it back, and there's a few reasons for that, and one of them primarily is that I think it just needs to exist in the world, and it's got the infrastructure to do so and be a good business, so that's what we're doing. But it doesn't come without its trials, and one of those is energy sapping and lack of motivation and not wanting to get out of bed in the morning sometimes. You think maybe because you're tired or maybe because you're ill, and I realize now that a lot of those times have been because I think I'm burnt out. I need a holiday desperately, but cash flow in the business doesn't allow that to happen. A holiday won't solve those problems. Aligning myself with the work that I love doing, realigning myself with the work I love doing, surrounding myself with the people I love working with, doing it in a place I love working, in a way I love working, will all be much better changes, and talking about it will help too, which is what I'm trying to do here. As you know from previous videos, I've been doing, I think I've mentioned it anyway, I've been doing kind of like pieces to camera, which I'm not publishing on YouTube, which are acting as really good ways for me to therapize myself, talk it out into the world. That's kind of what I'm doing here. That's why I think this is probably a good time for a video to talk about the impact of burnout, and that I'm not trying to help everybody to identify as being burnout, but I want to help people that might feel like something's off, realize that might be a piece of the puzzle, especially post-COVID. You know, a lot of people got burnt out from being locked indoors for so long. Creativity was quashed, the economy is stressful and struggling, certainly in the UK, so it's easy to feel disenchanted and disenfranchised with the work that you're doing, which is what I felt, I think. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and we're bringing things back, and it's headed in the right direction. I think I've been impatient. Patience is key, but making some changes and some moves that are just making sense now. The meetups have come back. they're flourishing. We're running them in all different sorts of places for all different sorts of people, and they're doing really well. London gets like 100% oversubscribed every single time. Bristol gets oversubscribed every single time. We're looking at launches in the US and overseas and other locations, and up and down the country in the UK too. People are inquiring about running events in their local city. It's going well. It should be and can be and hopefully will be, touch wood, a good revenue driver for us in 2024. Conversations with sponsors are going well right now, and at full fruition we should be running 260 events a year. That's a huge amount of real estate, to use the meme. There's a huge amount of infrastructure, events infrastructure and inventory to be sponsored, and a great audience to get in front of. You know, these people are representative of the future clients, the future consumers, the future talent of these companies. If they're not going to build companies and buy from our sponsors, then they might end up working for them. So there's a great multifaceted exercise for sponsors to get involved with us. That's why I'm excited about bringing the meetups back, because they do good and they should be able to generate some good revenue too. So keep your fingers crossed about that. Rebel Meetups is there. Different is coming back too. We've got a whole program of events that's being lined up now. Webinar guests, experts. We're doing AMAs in the community about people that might want to side hustle and build entrepreneurial initiatives separate to their jobs. We've got the standing content, the evergreen curriculum content in there already about developing your soft skills, developing more of that on an ongoing basis around networking and selling and leadership and decision making and personal branding and confidence, all of that stuff. And of course the content that we record in the webinars with our experts will sit in that curriculum too, as added content. We're doing virtual get-togethers, focused co-working sessions where no one talks, but we're doing it alongside each other, and so that creates accountability. There's lots going on in that community. I'm very ready to give away a bunch of memberships to get it going from scratch again, basically. And we'll probably gift them through charitable organisations to people that otherwise can't access them. I recommend you join. Obviously, I'm going to say that because we're selling stuff, but I think it's a great community of people that is a little bit dormant right now, frankly, but we're bringing it back, and we've got a great little team of people that are helping out on that too. I say little, that's not patronising. A great team of individuals who are incredibly talented, who are helping us to build content, to turn that into marketing, to manage people incoming in the community and onboarding them, and yeah, big shout out to Luke, Kate, and Sam who are going to be helping do that. Amazing people, I can't wait to get working with them, and of course Claire who's on board too. So there's that. All of this comes with constant adaptation though, right? So we have one member community that went from something to nothing and hopefully back to something. We had a meetup organisation that went from lots to nothing and hopefully back to something even more than it was before. There's a consultative arm that spins out of both of those, where brands might come to us and say, hey, we can't sponsor, we're not doing that, it's not interesting to us, we don't want to develop our soft skills. I've got a cough, sorry. Like, what can we do together? We want to build a startup initiative. Great, that's called consulting, and it runs through another branch we've got called New Blood. But all of that's really complicated to explain. I've taken a few minutes to explain it already, and that goes over people's heads. So we've done some positioning work, and everything now sits under one brand. And that brand is Rebellious Co. Rebellious Co. owns and operates entrepreneurial initiatives that democratize entrepreneurship, and it also owns and operates brands that develop business leaders, aspiring business leaders. Those are one and the same. We own and operate brands that develop aspiring business leaders and democratize entrepreneurship. That's what Rebellious Co. does. I am the founder of Rebellious Co. We own and operate Rebel Meetups, different New Blood, and any other interesting initiatives that we're starting up. That repositioning will need more work, it will need a website, it will need a whole bunch of other stuff, but the thing I'm really excited about is that common narrative that flows through everything now. Rebel Meetups about rebellion. Different is about what makes you different and how can we capitalize on those skills. New Blood is about bringing new energy into corporate companies from the ground up. What are people wanting and thinking and needing right now? We're all about breaking the status quo, breaking rules, making new ones, and challenging what people think is normal. And that is really exciting to me as a brand. It's countering that burnout. It's getting me realigned with the mission, the position. I've talked about raising money for this new company that I was talking about previously, and that might still happen, but if it does happen, it might happen in a different way. Maybe we raise money in a way that isn't coming from normal sources that you would see, venture capitals, angel investors primarily. Maybe it's putting too fine a point on it, but if we do things in the normal way and we undermining our own core value about doing things differently and being rebellious? Maybe. So maybe we should build this new arm to this business in a slightly different way, and I'll tell you more about that in another video. And the final thing I think that's happened in the last couple of months has been that this is just realization, which again is helping fight against this burnout piece, of like what I'm actually good at. Just a reminder of that, like going back into sales mode on sponsors and kind of saying no to a lot of other stuff. It's made me realize that I'm good at that. There's a reason why I built a community built around soft skills and pivoted it towards that. It's because I realized I'm good at that. I'm good at holding conversations. I'm good at starting relationships. I'm good at turning them into sales in the right way, not a salesy way. And I enjoy it. I love the buzz of a sale. Every job I've had that's involved sales, I realize now, up to this point, I've been able to break and make new records in. I was a letting agent for a few years. In the first 3 months, I think I had that job, I broke the record for the number of apartments let in that month. Don't know if that's been broken since. I was before that working for a bank. We used to sell loans. Not the most moral thing in the world. I didn't know at the time. I was only young. I sold the most loans in a month that they'd had on that team. I'm really good at it. And what I'm realizing is actually, more importantly, the things I'm not good at and things I'm not excited about. And that is where you hire people. And that's not what I did the last time we had some money, but that's what I'm going to do if these sponsors come in January, is budget how we build and manage a team using that newfound income and turn that into a company that can grow. Reinvest in growth. Don't take that money, sit on it, get complacent and let burnout creep back in again. Use that as an exciting budget to grow and do really interesting things. So that's where I'm at. That's a brief update, I think. I guess one little, it's not a bombshell really because there's no real plan yet, but one other thing that's playing on my mind is that when you start a business and you become your own boss, people tell you can go and do whatever you want, make your rules, live wherever, do whatever, make your own hours, and I've never really left the UK properly. So I'm thinking about that at the moment. It's cold here, maybe I'd want to move somewhere warmer. If I'm already cold, maybe I want to move somewhere that's still cold but just has a better economy. I've been lucky enough to do a little bit of traveling in the last few years, and I've realized there are some really cool, really awesome and really interesting places that have, positive attitudes, better weather, stronger economies, really nice people, and so who knows, maybe the UK isn't going to be home for much longer. We'll see. I've got to do a bit more research on that. Anyway, I don't want to keep you guys for much longer. Thank you for tuning back in. I will try and do another video. I might even do one of those therapy videos and make it public, maybe this week. It would just be nice to share a little bit more of what I kind of spoke about today, but in a little bit more detail, I think. A little bit more, obviously, a little bit more, without inhibition, I guess. Try and share that with you, just to let you know where I'm at, because the main aim really is it might help you realize where you're at, and it might make you realize that you're not alone in this stuff. Even the people that people look up to can find things hard. I'm a founder advisor a lot of the time. My job is to help people build startups and do that in the right way. So it's crazy sometimes that I can't take my own advice, but I think it's probably liberating for people to feel that and know that the person that they might be looking to for advice also struggles sometimes too. So look after yourselves. I will check back in with you really soon, and thanks for tuning in again. Peace.